Good evening, everyone. It is Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, back as always every Thursday with my UK Bitcoin Master live show. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. If you're brand new to the show, check out this below. That's really important. While I'm doing the intro, you're not going to get any financial advice here. You're not going to get any charts here. You're not going to get any technical analysis here. I've just twice a week want to go crazy, talk about Bitcoin, and hopefully it might inspire somebody to buy some Bitcoin, get in the overlay, etc. Today is the 20th of May 2021, and it goes without saying, strong Bitcoin hand. Don't panic, just hodl. Stack, sats and hodl is all you need to be doing, people, and we'll get into that shortly. I'm going to very quickly look and see who's in. Yorkie Bitcoiner, welcome. Lance Hodl's in the house. Hello. JC Borter from South Africa. We've got Proud Zionist Jews in the house. Hastings Insurance Solution, my lovely wife Elaine's with us. Matthew Underhill from the Bitcoin Book, great to have you in the house. Johnny Midas coming in from Malibu, welcome to you, sir. Michael Weber's in the house. Barge Dobnik has just joined us. Pound the like button, people. Share this out. Really, really important. Without further ado, let's just get these preliminaries out the way and we will move on. So the disclaimer is gone. If you are new to this channel, go to ukbitcoinmaster.com, and my advice is to watch all my videos from when I started and learn about Bitcoin, because what I did from the master, Bitcoin Meister, who's in the house as Proud Zionist Jew, I literally watched every one of his shows, learned what I needed to learn from Adam and others, but mainly Adam, went live on my own show and delivered what I'd learned from Bitcoin Meister, and that is what you would learn if you went through all of my videos from the start. Now, you might be thinking, oh, crikey, that's loads. Well, the first one was 3 minutes and 49 seconds. They were 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 9 minutes, so they weren't long. So I would encourage you all, if you're new, to go back and watch them all. There's one guy who always messages me saying, I'm frantically catching up. I'm going through every single video. I think his name's Ian. Every single video, and I'm catching up, which is absolutely superb, and he will learn absolutely loads in terms of what I know from that, and loads from following people like Bitcoin Meister, etc. Welcome, Rocky Palumbo. Great to see you in the house as always. Now, bitcoininterviews.com, if you want to see some of the interviews that I've done with, you know, some of the, I believe, greatest thought leaders in the space, then it is worth checking out bitcoininterviews.com. So check those out. Also, if you're busy, if you're on the move, check out UK Bitcoin Master podcasts with an S on the end.com, where you will find all of my podcasts of these shows converted after the show and then put up on Anchor Podcasts. I think it's also out there on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and others, but I can't remember them all. If you want to drop a tip, there you go. There's my tipping.me address. Also in the show notes is a Bitcoin address. I don't expect anybody to drop a tip of Bitcoin, but if you wanted to, it's there. Also in the show notes is a link to my backup channel, UK Bitcoiner. I would encourage you, if you're new, subscribe to that as a backup. And if this one gets taken down again, as it has done before, then you'll be in good stead, because I will go over there and start live streaming. So really important that you subscribe to that backup channel. Okay, so what a crazy handful of days it has been in Bitcoin. Actually, in crypto, if you look across the board, we've had just literally red candle massacres. Every coin was down. It wasn't just Bitcoin. But you know what? What you've got to look at is, how does that phase me? Does it phase me? Have you been through the 4-year cycle yet, so that you learn about the halving, the bull run, then the crypto winter? You hold through that, and then we come to another halving and the cycle goes off again. And that's really, really important. And I think some of the tweets that I touch on today also go into that as well. Let's get over to the desktop. Let's see what's going on. Very quick look at the price. We're looking at the daily candle here. We're just under the 40k mark, so we have recovered somewhat from that low of 30k. For me personally, it wasn't ever in question. For many of the hardened Bitcoiners out there, many of you guys in the chat, it wasn't even in question. Just an ideal opportunity to buy the flipping dip without a shadow of a doubt. Thanks, Rocky. Gary O'Connell's in the house. Great to have you, Gary. Thank you for sharing that with me earlier, Gary. I'll go over to that in a minute, and people are wondering what that is, but there you go. No, there's no single ladies holding crypto looking for a date on this channel, Gary. Always the eternal joker, but good to have you with us nonetheless. So, you know, at the end of the day, people, this may be exceptional in terms of a huge correction in the middle of the bull run, but I'm going to show you something that might just back up that this is quite normal for Bitcoin. Very, very quickly, have a look at this that I got sent. You see, people go, oh, is this it? Is it all over? Are we done? Now, this is corrections from all-time highs, from government bans to hack-induced crashes. Here's how the corrections compare. You can see the dates. I don't know whether you can see my cursor moving yet. You can. So you can see here are all the dates on all of them. You can see there's 42, 32s, there's 34s, there's 38s. But if I scroll down, or up as the case may be, let's have a look at some of the whoppers. There you go. You know, a Ponzi scheme known as the Bitcoin Savings and Trust makes off with 150,000 Bitcoin.500 got China bans Bitcoin, and Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox suffers a hack. We know all about that. You know, we've got 530 million hack of Japan's largest OTC exchange, CoinCheck. And then clearly we have got what we've recently experienced where the man that is Mr. Musk tweets at Tesla will stop accepting Bitcoin payments. So, people, we have had bigger corrections than the one we're on. Fair dues, not so much in bull runs, but we've had them, and Bitcoin always recovers. And one of the things that I learned from Bitcoin Meister was this is all cyclical. It comes down round and round and round and round. It is par for the course. It is a 12-year-old asset class, and as it gains adoption, as it gains more interest around the world, and it gains momentum, you are going to get people wanting to dump on it. Beware, maybe one of the next narratives to try and shoot Bitcoin down in flames is the energy narrative. You're going to hear more and more about Bitcoin is boiling the oceans, etc., etc. You got to dig in and you got to do some research on this, people. And I think, yeah, here's an article that I found, and it is well worth, it'll be in the show notes afterwards, and I would encourage you all, yeah, it's from, my brain's just gone dead, Galaxy, I believe, but according to this report compiled by Galaxy's mining arm, Bitcoin's annual electricity consumption stands at 113.89 terawatt hours. That includes energy for miner demand, miner power consumption, pool power consumption, and node power consumption. The amount is at least 2 times lower than the total energy consumed by the banking system, which is estimated to reach 263.72 terawatt hours per year globally. So it is about arming yourself with this information so that when somebody comes out with something, you can see here, look at the graph. You know, the left hand, card networks, ATMs, bank branches, top 100 bank data centers. You know, look, 250 terawatt hours. You've got gold not far under that. Then you've got Bitcoin just over 100. You know, I don't need to know the intricacies and the in the outs of it. What I know is something like, because I watch a lot of videos and content creators and people that are real experts in their field, you know, I know that something like 75% of all Bitcoin energy is renewables, i.e. they're going and finding energy that's going to be polluting the environment, and they're using that energy to mine Bitcoin. So I couldn't stand my ground with somebody that's really into this stuff, but I can certainly make the case for that, as they did with Galaxy Digital. Love Mr. Novogratz or not, that's not the point. Galaxy Digital Mining said that Bitcoin's energy consumption is transparent and easy to track in real time, using tools like the Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index, while the evaluation of energy uses of the traditional financial system and the gold industry is not that straightforward. As Galaxy Digital notes, energy utilization is not necessarily a bad thing. As Václav Smil writes, energy is the only universal currency. Humans will continue to find new technologies that require more energy that challenges the status quo. Bitcoin is yet another example. So in their view, returning to the defining question of our time this week, is the Bitcoin network's energy consumption an acceptable use of energy? Galaxy's answer is a definite yes. And there are so many arguments for this. I was on Preston Pish's podcast this morning. Well, I watched it on catch up with Jeff Booth, from the author of The Price of Tomorrow. If you haven't read it, well worth a read. And Lynn Alden. I mean, she is the most incredibly clever lady. And, you know, their argument against it was pretty incredible to listen to. And of course, the more I listen to arguments like that, the more I can learn how I can answer that energy FUD issue that people come at me with. If you want to get my attention, people, I can see the chat going on. Type in UK Bitcoin Master, then your message, and it will flash up in orange, and I'll give you a shout out. Now, for those that want to, here is the research paper in depth. Look at it. I'm not going to read it all, but for those that want to read what this survey showed, here it is here, and there'll be a link to that in my show notes at the end of the show for those of you that want to dig into that article. So let's have a look at a few tweets that I came across that are pretty relevant to it all. So from Max Kaiser, can you forget about it for at least a month after investing in Bitcoin, or do you check it every day? If you can't forget about it for a month or even 6 months, your conviction isn't high enough, so don't go there. Now, I would say that the only reason I am looking at the charts is purely because I've got a couple of extra monitors, and I just have one sat in the corner while I'm working during the day, and it just allows me to keep an eye on what's going on with it. Do I need to know what's going on with it because my emotion wants me to sell my Bitcoin, to freak out, etc.? No, I don't. What I'm looking for is there another dip that I might be able to get in there and buy that flipping dip. So that's the reason I've got it on. But technically, you know, we can go away on holiday. I don't need to look at the charts, if that makes sense. Can you? You know, noobs, you tend to find they're just constantly looking at the chart and they can't leave it alone. And the moment Bitcoin goes down, all of a sudden they come out of the woodwork and start messaging you, like I had yesterday from somebody that I got into Bitcoin, saying, oh, can you see Bitcoin's price is right down? Yeah, absolutely. And they said, I think she said, are you worried? And I think I said, you know, do you think I'm worried? You know, with my shows, go and watch them. No, I'm not worried at all. You know, yes, it is a healthy correction, but I personally think, and you know, I don't give financial advice. None of this is financial advice, but I just think that this really healthy correction has wheedled out all the chaff. It's got rid of all the weak hands, or a lot more of the weak hands. That Bitcoin has now flowed into the strong hands. I think you'll then see a much healthier, stronger, and parabolic uptrend the second half of the year when this bull run continues. Now, I don't know anything, so don't listen to anything I'm saying. It's just something that I feel might happen. Parker Lewis, very well respected. When anyone in the future inevitably talks about ownership of Bitcoin not being fair, remember days and weeks like we're going through right this minute, people. That's what he said. That's what I'm saying. Every sat is and has been earned. If you don't think buying and holding through the downturns and all the emotion that goes with it and all the FUD that's out there trying to get you to sell your Bitcoin so the institutions can buy it up cheap. If you don't think that is work, there's something wrong with you, because it really is. If saving Bitcoin were easy, everyone would do it. But the hardened Bitcoiner is born of education and volatility. I really love this tweet, because what it is saying is you need your journey from A to B in Bitcoin, whatever that is for you. You need to smooth that journey out. Understand that volatility is coming. You are not going to avoid it. So accept it in part and parcel of where you are going. Stephen Cole. There is absolutely no price Bitcoin could crash to at which I'd consider selling. Literally none. Hear, hear. The only question is how much more to buy and when. So check your mentality when this correction is taking place. And I was chatting to my lovely wife Elaine, who's in the chat. Shout out for Elaine, Mrs. UK. She's a great supporter of my channel. She's in that Bitcoin rabbit hole now. Of a Sunday morning, we're relaxing. I might say, what are you watching? Thinking she's watching, I don't know, some rubbish on YouTube. She said, oh, I've just watched a Bitcoin documentary. And it's like, hello, love it when they're on side with you. So a big shout out to my lovely wife Elaine, because she really is down that rabbit hole. So well done to you, Elaine. I think what I'm saying here is, if you are open to learning and not so much studying, but they always say, don't they, when you find something you absolutely love doing, you'll never do another day's work in your life. And for me, this is not work. This is just the most pleasurable experience. When I'm picking up YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video and watching them, I do not think, oh, another 2 or 3 hours of work. I absolutely love learning, and there is nothing wrong with learning, people. Learning keeps you healthy, it keeps your brain active, keeps you in motion, it keeps you within society, it keeps you at the cutting edge of new things that are coming along. There is nothing wrong with learning, and I love learning about Bitcoin. Yorkie Bitcoiner, I have checked the charts at least once every day for over 8 years. Hey, Yorkie, fair play, each to their own. No problem with that whatsoever. What I'm saying is, if we believe Bitcoin over the long term is going to do what we feel it's going to do, and that's make the world a better place, get rid of the filthy, stinking, corrupt banks, governments, etc., whatever you think is going to happen, then we don't actually need to. I tend to feel if we're looking at the charts consistently, it's because we're looking for that number go up, because, it's human failing, I think, where we all want to make some money. Hey, listen, and I'm in that category as well. Do I want to make some money? Of course I want to make some money. But I came into Bitcoin when my great friend Gary in the chat gave me the telephone call on May the 23rd, 2017, that lasted something like hour and 3/4, that went down the route of my lovely wife. Every time Gary said something, Elaine said, why? Being analytical, why? What's in it for you? Why? And I've literally got into Bitcoin to make some money. Yeah, I still want to make some money. I'm moving towards retirement age, but I'm also doing this for future generations in my family and the rest of the world as a whole. Bernard Sulek, welcome, Bernard. Great to have you in the house. I hope I didn't butcher your name too much. I found this one. Over the last month, just 2% of on-chain movement was from UTXOs that had been dormant for longer than a year. So, long-term hodlers are completely unfazed by what has just happened. And if you look down here at this chart from Glassnode, it says 98% of UTXOs spent over the last 30 days were hodled for less than a year. That is those weak hands, people. And all these sorts of diagnostics or charts, they help you to understand and to learn that the long-term hodler is in it for the long term, and he or she is not phased by any of this. Very, very quick shout out to Matthew, who's in the room with us. Matthew Underhill, a great book. You can see on the back of the book everything that it offers. It's a great book for beginners. It's on Amazon, Kindle, or in book format. I always like to show mine so that I'm not just shilling a book I don't believe in. I've read it twice. It really is a superb book to give to somebody who you're looking to get interested in Bitcoin. If you've got the book or the Kindle version and you've read it, if you haven't yet, would you please go to Amazon and give it a review, because that helps Matthew. He's a regular guy in the UK that wrote a Bitcoin book. And like me, trying to get more subscribers and more eyeballs on my channel, of course, Matthew is looking for more reviews on his book. Please only give a review that you feel is honest. So you need to have read that book. Okay, so definitely worth looking at. Right, let's move on. I love this one. For those of you that are not aware, the founder of Strike, Jack Mallers, a young man in his 20s, my goodness, what a future that guy has got ahead of him. He has paired up with an Indy 500 in America top driver and their team, and they've produced a Bitcoin car that is going to compete in the Indy 500 in America coming up at the end of May. I really hope it's streamed on something where we can watch it here, because I cannot wait to see this Bitcoin car. Now, this guy, apparently his team have been on, he's been runner-up 2 or 3 times in this Indy 500. So, there's a real chance of a win here, or at least some good publicity. But here's an interesting thing. Michael Saylor, Jack Mallers put it out there on Twitter that he wants to raise around 10 million to help with Bitcoin developers, and obviously to help this guy fund his business because he's put all of his sponsors on hold. Michael Saylor's just jumped in with $250,000. Love it. Okay, Jack Mallers, I want to be part of the pit crew supporting Bitcoin devs. Count me in for 250k, which is absolutely superb. And there's the, excuse the blasphemy, but Jack does use a few expletives that I'm not particularly a fan of, as you know. But there you go. Just Public's announcing the Bitcoin car this year. I don't need to read it to you. I've already mentioned it, but this is absolutely superb. This is a big deal. This is putting Bitcoin on the map, I feel, with the Indy 500. So if you can, at the end of May, see if you can find it on one of your streaming channels, and let's all get behind it and watch it. I'm certainly going to do it. And I certainly want one of you American friends to reach out and let me know exactly what day that is going to be on, so I can at least have half a chance of tuning into it. So really, really exciting. And if I'm right, I also believe, and I don't think I'm giving away any secrets here, I think it was mentioned on one of the podcasts, I think the Bitcoin car is actually going to be at the Miami conference, and there's something special they're going to be doing. So you guys that are going to that Miami conference, I am seriously envious of you all. It'll happen, but I see the lengths that Peter McCormack's had, the hoops he's had to jump through to get to Miami, something down in Ecuador for 2 weeks via flipping Germany or Austria or somewhere else. I can't remember where he's had to go. A right train wreck. And, whilst I'm committed to Bitcoin, I'm not committed to spending my hard-earned Bitcoin just yet on a conference. So, hopefully it's going to be streamed and I can catch some of it. In fact, I almost know it's going to be streamed. I know Swan have got their own booth. Shout out to Swan Bitcoin. They've got their own booth where they're going to be streaming the whole time, I think, of the conference. So that'd be absolutely exciting. One from Alexander Leishman, the energy consumption Bitcoin FUD. We've gone full circle again to the start of the show. Is just getting started. I believe they'll use that as a narrative to try and discredit Bitcoin. I really do. POS coin marketing arms, subsidized by Silicon Valley VCs and ICO profits, are going to lobby hard against Bitcoin. Banks and ECG money will join forces with them as well. The big fights have not even begun yet. Now, I can't confirm anything in this tweet is going to happen, but I do have a belief that The reason Elon Musk changed his tune so quickly after responding to a Michael Saylor tweet around, positive Bitcoin is because he gets massive subsidies from the US government to drive his Tesla car project forward. And I think maybe somebody's lent on him and told him to maybe tone down or something. He was throwing his dummy out. And, some people say he caused this drop. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. It doesn't matter. It was a correction and we just need to weather it and we need to go forward again. But I believe he's been lent on as part of this narrative that Alexander is talking about. Rocky Palumbo. Indy 500 is May the 30th. Whoa, what day is that? My birthday's 28th. Oh, Sunday. Excellent. I'll be looking out for that one. Matthew said the same. I think the show starts 6 p.m. UK time, race at 7:30. Matthew, thank you. Where can we watch it? Is it on ESPN? Is it on, what's that one on cable that we all get here on Freeview? What is it called? One of the sports channels? Eurosport? I don't know. That's European. Hey, let me know where it's going to be, people. I would love to watch it, or if it's online anywhere. So, really good tweet. I think, they're coming after us. Now, Tai Zen, a divisive character. He's a heavy trader, so I don't advise anybody to trade. I think you'll end up getting totally wrecked if you try trading this. I really do. But here's the thing. Right, market crash, frequently asked questions. Is this a pullback or a start of a bear market? Pullback. Is this a normal pullback in crypto? Yes. Should I panic sell? No. Are amateurs and beginners selling out of fear? Yep. Are veterans and pros selling? Nope. Are veterans and pros buying? Yep. Can it go lower? Yep. Now, I can't confirm any of that or deny it, but of course it could go lower. But here's the thing. If you haven't leveraged yourself, you shouldn't be worrying about it. If you have gone and taken out cards and loans and remortgaged your house against it, or you've got positions in one of these loan finance deals, I don't know your situation. I hope you're okay, but this is how people get wrecked when they're over leveraged. For us, we know what we came in at. We are way, way, way ahead of our initial investment. Way ahead of that initial investment, and it can come all the way down, well down, before we even break level with what we initially put into Bitcoin. And if you're like that and you're not needing Bitcoin now, today, or in a year or in 5 years, then you can just let Bitcoin do what it does, which is why all the commentators will keep saying to you, don't overbuy. Don't buy what you can't afford to lose. Don't buy what you can't afford to be leveraged out of. And I think that's what he's saying here. But nevertheless, the message is there. Build your strong Bitcoin hand, people. Don't panic. Just buy and hold. Don't look at the charts. And if the charts go down, seek out the positive content creators who will help you to stabilize, stop your sickness going on that you think the whole thing's going to zero, and then buy some more and move on. Anybody that knows their stuff in Bitcoin, when there's a dip like this, they are in there buying that flipping dip. I bought the dip. I wish I had 20,000 lying around to buy that dip, but unfortunately I bought the dollar cost averaging part of the dip, so at least I got some Bitcoin a little bit lower. Rocky, NBC and NBCSN, whatever the heck that is. Oh yeah, and the 21 million club this weekend. I might forget at the end, so let me mention that now. Looking forward to our private Zoom call on Saturday, people. Come and join us. It is Bitcoin Pizza Day, the 11th anniversary of Laszlo swapping 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 large Papa John's pizzas. So on the Zoom meetup, we are going to eat a pizza. We're going to do our best to eat a relatively healthier pizza than normal, but nevertheless, we are going to have a pizza. So for those of you that are just finding this channel, if you want to know how you could become part of our private 21 million club meetup once a month on a Saturday evening, then reach out to me at the bottom of the show notes. You'll find an email address and I'll very happily tell you what the criteria is to become part of that exclusive and private club. Zoom. Yeah, love it, John. Sats tonight. You noobs didn't think a bull market would be just smooth, plain sailing, did you? Put your teeth back in, Brian. You noobs didn't think a bull market would just be smooth sailing. Well, we call it plain sailing here. Bitcoin tests you always. Isn't that relevant to what I've just been talking about, people? Bitcoin will test you. It'll push you to your limit with what it does. Just when everybody's plotting it's going off to the races, it goes and has a 40 or 50% correction. It is what it is. Buy, hold, keep DCAing, and low time preference, long-term thinking, and you won't go far wrong. Redwater Saturday, Elaine says. That means wine to her, I'm afraid. Okay, quick look at a quote, because I do love quotes. And I love this one from Henry Ford. And how does it relate to Bitcoin? Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. Thinking. When Bitcoin's plot price corrects, think. Okay, could this be normal? Do I need to go and find the right content creators to help me understand what is going on and why this may be happening? Yeah, absolutely. That is thinking. Too many people don't think, as Bitcoin Meister always says, they just allow the algorithms to tell them what they should be doing, what they should be looking at, where they should be going for information, and it just pops up videos and they go off and watch it. Don't. Think for yourself, people. If you are a thinker, and I'm a deep thinker, you will not go far wrong in life. So to end the show, quick look back at the charts. We've got a Bitcoin just sat under the $40,000 mark. I'm pretty confident that the rest of this year we will still see the return of the bull market. Let's see how it all plays out. But from me, that is your UK Bitcoin Master live show for today, the 20th of May, 2021. Looking forward to Saturday, the 21 Million Club meetup. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like this video, subscribe, bash the bell button and hit all so you get notified when I go live, which is every Monday and every Thursday without fail, unless I'm in hospital like I have been recently, at 6 p.m. London time. So when your clocks change in another country, keep that one in mind. I will be back on Monday at 6 p.m. as always. I'll catch many of you on Saturday on the meetup. Please, please, please. One of the hardest things that we ask you to do that people don't do, and it's a 30-second thing, please. When the show's over, leave it an hour, half an hour, refresh. Come back into the show, go underneath and leave a comment in the comments section. That keeps it up on YouTube. More eyeballs can find it as we go back into this bull market. I will catch you all on Monday. I'll catch some of you on Saturday. I'm Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master. As always, signing off, going to leave you with my social media links. Check out the podcast as well. I'll catch you all on Saturday or on Monday. I'm out of here. Cheers, everyone.